What's good, everybody? Yeah, this is Bruno Mars and ROSÉ with APT or APT. I think the correct way to pronounce it is APT. The Korean way to say apartment, which is actually like a drinking game, a Korean drinking game or something like that. Something like that. Anyway, y'all know me. Be careful who you bring to your apartment. And be careful with the drinking. All right. It ain't all that, I don't know why we don't learn from that lesson, the drinking thing, Be mindful. Be careful with that. Be careful who you invite to your apartment. Anyway, I'm still here to show you the chords. I'm still here to show you the chords. Either way, this song is in the key of C minor. All right. We talk about what is relative to, and, to be honest with you, you can just go up a minor third. You pretty much have like the major, you know what I'm saying? Why don't they call it a relative major? I guess they don't. But anyway, you could reverse it and say that, E flat major, the relative of E flat major is C minor. You could say that. A lot of times I use that so that I know what scale to play and everything. I'll reference the major. Now, some people have their own theory and how they, relate to that. And, you have some people who just memorize the minor scale. I think that's fine. And I do memorize it, but I reference the major. It helps me to stick the minor a little better. So just my opinion. I don't like theory piling. It's too much. I find other things that it actually relates with, and it helps it stay there instead of me having all this overly distinguished musical conversation about theory. I don't really care. As long as I know the notes and as long as I play them right, that's all that matters. Anyway, so C minor is where we are, and here's the C. Third fret on the A string, and we're really playing power chords. This whole chord is power chords. This whole song is power chords, pretty much. It's very synth heavy, but it works well for guitar. If somebody just wanted to do like a rock show with this song and it's nothing but synths, but the guitar, it fits right in there. If you want to chug at it, you could do that. Okay. It works well for that. The only time that it is implied that it's a different chord sound is when they're singing with it. And based on how they're singing with it implies what, if you were to play a full chord, what it would actually be. All right. So, but anyway, C minor is where we are, is where we're at. Now, as far as the verse, it's pretty much, C, well, you got B flat and C, B flat and C, and it just hits that. Okay. That's it. So here's the C. And then on that first fret, that's where the B flat is. And let me just say this real quick. The way that you find the fifth of, because a power chord is mainly a root in a fifth, and that's it. That's really all it is. So let's just go back to the C real quick. So here's the C. Now, just an easy way to think about it. This is whether you do it minor or, a fifth is a fifth, a perfect fifth is a perfect fifth, kind of no matter what, you know what I'm saying? So here is the C. And if you count 2 frets over, 1, 2, which is a whole step, and then the string below that, and the fret below that, the fret and string below that, you just play that. Whether you do it a minor, you count it like a minor scale up to the fifth, major, either way, it's gonna land on that fifth, all right? Same here. All right, so B flat major chord, B flat power chord, C power chord. Okay, that's for the verse. And then there's one part where it plays this line, this, and that's just going from the 3rd fret to the 5th fret on the G string. You kind of like, do the vibrato on that 5th fret. And you can do the pinch harmonics if you want. Let go of it. Then do the same thing on the D string. And you got to real quickly go back to that B flat and go to the C. Okay, so that's if you want to do that kind of thing. All right, let's get into the chorus, because that's really where the stuff is. All right. So right here we have and I have the charts for you too, so stay tuned for that. So A flat power chord. All right, that's 4th fret on that low E string, power chord, that same power chord structure. And again, this only, well, not again, but this really only applies to the bottom 3 strings when it comes to that power chord structure. When you get to this 3rd string up, then you're actually kind of, you got to widen it 1 fret, but that's not for this video. So yeah, let's go back to the A flat. Then we go to B flat, which is the 6th fret, okay? Power chord still. We're keeping the same power chord structure, okay? No matter where we go. Okay, back to the C. Keep in mind, you can palm mute it a little bit, to kind of tame your ringing out notes. You don't want to do this. You don't want to do that. You want to kind of palm mute on this hand a little bit and sort of have the back end of your finger, on this index finger, sort of resting on the notes on the strings that you don't want to play. And make sure you fret the notes that you do want to play, which is the power chords. But the rest of them, you're kind of deadening them. You're not fretting anything otherwise, okay? That's if you want to chug with it, you know what I'm saying? But if you otherwise let it ring out. All right, and I stop it with my palm on the side right here. Okay, now that's one way to play it. You still play the B flat. I mean the A flat. Sorry about that. The A flat right here. But you can play this this B flat over here. So C, E flat right here. All right. All right, so that's that part. Now it goes to the like the bridge, okay? and it's on the G. It starts to kind of mute it, does this muted chug on the G. All right. Then it goes to the C, B flat, E flat, C. F. Now, just a quick note as far as that, on this part, like everything is pretty much true in terms of like the vocals to the chords. They pretty much stay true to the minor key. You know, I'm talking about the vocal, like I'm telling you that you can play power chords, but just for the sake of context, you know, it's but in context of the vocal, it's playing a major chord on this power chord. As far as just the context that you're playing the power chord, just so that if you ever want to, you know, or you know the context of what's being played. So you know what context that is. As far as the bridge, and it goes to that G, it's sort of a different ball game. Then we go to the C, C minor, B flat major. All of them are major chords. E flat major, C major. Okay, so it starts with the C minor, then B flat major. Okay, E flat major. So the way it would sound is if I were to play it, no distortion. Oh, what am I doing? What am I doing? Turn the distortion off. So it would sound like this. So C minor, B flat major, E flat major, and then C major. All right, so. F, F major. But anytime you're playing straight major and minor chords, you can play power chords over them as well. So that's a reason that I'm actually showing a song that has power chords, because it helps to inform you and your guitar learning experience a certain way. Okay. All right. Now for the charts. Okay. Let's look at that. Okay. I'm going to just play it through just so that you can see it. And let me move this out of the way for a brief minute. And I'll just play it through just so that you can see the notes. All right. And let me make sure this isn't too loud. Format wise, I did not keep the format, the same, but it's all the parts of the song. Just so keep in mind that these parts are repeated and everything. So all right, let me fix this real quick. Okay, bear with me. Maybe I'll turn it down too much. All right, here we go. All right, so let's start it over. Let's start it over. All right, so this is everything pretty much. So that's the verse. These are the notes to that. So let's go back. All right, so that's the verse part. This is the actual chorus. Baby, don't you know that I need you now? Again. So that's that part. So those are the notes. You can see the tabs right there. Here's the palm muted part, and it's just all right. I didn't particularly do a power chord because on the 3, you can't really technically you shouldn't be power chording on that 3 chord, because like the chord progression is based on the major scale. It's actually like a 6, 4, 5, 1 based on the major scale. So in terms of like the number system, that's what that is. Now here is the actual bridge, and then I'll play it with the charts. So so the reason I played this is because you really loop this. Then they do it again. It's the same notes, same power chords. All right. So let's go up and let's see how the actual shapes, how they play out. Okay. Here's what I got. And keep in mind, you can play the B flat. You can play that on like coming from that first fret, as well as the you can play it from the first fret on the A string, as well as from the E string on the 6th fret. So it's the same thing. So anyway, starting here, you can actually see how the fingering is. Baby, don't you know what I'm saying? Single note, palm mute, and then I'm gonna move it here. All right, so yeah, just keep in mind too, again, if in context, like what can be, if you wanted to play it as a full major or minor chord, just know where that actually is supposed to be. All right. So it's important to know all those little things, but for reference, C minor and it's just in reference. here's the major, the three from, I mean, if this is a minor key, that minor, that's like the tonic of the minor, which is the C. And the three, which is that major, that first major, chord is of what would be the major. So I hope I ain't confused you by saying that. So those are the notes. It is a fun song. Again, be careful who you bringing in your apartment. Like, don't be bringing no jokers up in your apartment. No, that's such an old school term, right? Don't bring no knuckleheads in your apartment. This, male and female, be careful who you bring up in your house. I don't care about no APT song. I don't care about that. Be careful who you bring up in your house, period. All right? Fun song, though. And it's a great way to show you how to play some chords. And, like I said, APT, APT, however you say it. Korean way to say apartment. It's like a Korean drinking song. Drinking ain't even cool like that. You know what I'm saying? So be careful, yo. Be careful. Don't be getting drunk. Have you a couple of drinks. Have fun. You don't need no more than that. All right, yo. If you want to, hit the buttons that people be saying to hit. Sometimes I don't even care to ask. Hit the buttons if you want to hit. If you want to be a part of the community. I got something coming soon. It's taking a minute. It's a lot to organize. So if I release it and stuff seem unorganized, don't fault me for it. I'm still gonna give you what you need or what you come to get from the community. It's just, the automations. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. And, I hope that this was helpful. And even though, excuse me, even though this is a song, just power chords, you can take this to actually inform you in other ways. Okay, which is why I show these songs. It helps you. It can help you in other ways. Sorry about that. So thank you so much. Come back, kick it at the Guitar Players Club by Kashif Music. All right, peace.